not just I'm going to hit a home run or I'm going to strike out kind of guy. I'm encouraged. I think there's some real upside there.
Jake Eklund on Twitter also tweeted at us saying he likes Austin a lot. Great trade for the Twins. Of course, they got that. He got Austin in the Lance Lynn trade, which to me is another trade that, even if it ended up not working out, made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the other thing, the other feature or the other facet to Tyler Austin. Unless Byron Buxton and Miguel Sano figure out how to hit left-handed pitching, and B, figure out how to be hit all pitching and be the players we think they're going to be. The Twins lineup is decidedly left-handed, and they struggle against left-handed pitching. And Tyler Austin is immediately about the biggest run-producing threat against left-handers, I think. And so if you look ahead to next year, from a DH standpoint, I'm going to spell if Joe Mauer comes back and is able to, he wants to play, and he and the Twins work out a deal where he comes back and plays, there's going to be an awful lot of opportunity for Austin in the first base role against left-handed pitching when the manager decides to rest Joe. So as a left-handed, right-handed punch, and as a DH from the right side against probably all pitching, but particularly against left-handers, I think it's he's an interesting talent for the Twins.
You led me right into my next topic, which is Byron Buxton's swing. Let's get to that. I do want to first thank Whizkids.tech, WHIZKIDS.tech, another great local company that we are working with that is sponsoring multiple programs across the network. They can be your chief technology ally.
Hello, Minnesota sports fans. This is Michael Thanner, founder and CEO of WizKids. WizKids is a Minneapolis-based managed IT, hosted VoIP, and cloud services provider. Businesses today require fast response times, skilled support staff, clear communication, and technology recommendations that align with their business goals. At WizKids, we do this each and every day with our clients. When you call into our help desk for support or work with one of our higher-level engineers on a complex issue, you'll find our staff personable and ready to roll up their sleeves to help you solve your technology problems. Reach out to WizKids today to find out how we can help your business meet your technology goals. Visit us online at whizkids.tech. That's whizkids.tech. WizKids, make it happen.
So old friend Agile Burners, who came to one of our first live shows ever and stays in touch with the program, sent a Twitter question last week, and he said, it looks to him, even as someone isn't as savvy to the mechanics of hitting as Roy Smalley is, that it looks to him like Buxton kind of sweeps through the strike zone, which makes him very vulnerable to a number of pitches. Give me your take on that. And his bigger picture question was, how does a player of that importance get so far through the system, get to the major leagues with maybe some obvious flaws in his swing?
Great observation by Agile Burners, and also a terrific question. And I'll answer the second one, the question first. Byron Buxton has world-class talent. Hitting mechanics aside, his speed, the quickness of his hands, naturally, again, hitting mechanics aside, the way the ball jumps off his bat when he squares it up, those things you can't teach. You either have that or you don't, and he has tremendous talent in those areas. And when you have that kind of talent coming through the minor leagues, your talent can overpower and overpower the other talent there that's on the mound, and overcome swing flaws that will be exposed in the big leagues. And the reason for that is stuff. If you have great stuff, you're going to be in the big leagues as soon as you can throw it over. and so kids are working on that as they work their young pitchers work their way through the minor leagues. And in the meantime, a hitter with great talent and speed like Byron Buxton is seeing a lot of pitches down the middle, a lot of pitches he can handle, a lot of 2-0 and 3-1 counts. They're just he can overpower the pitching talent all the way through AAA, and I think he's proven that. I think he got 3 hits yesterday, I think, I think he's proven that he's not a AAA player just because of his talent. Even at AAA, if you have swing flaws that show that if you're pitched a certain way, you can be gotten out. Even as high as AAA, guys can't throw it where they want to nearly as much with the stuff that it takes to, if they could, they'd be in the big leagues. So when you get to you overpower that stuff, or you can handle that stuff. When you get to the big leagues, all of a sudden, I mean, that's a chasm. That's a huge jump. People think, it's one step below the big leagues, but that's in name only. It's a chasm of talent leap on an everyday basis. And pitchers, they still make mistakes. In the big leagues, they can't throw it where they want to all the time, but they can throw it where they want to with good stuff significantly more often. And with significantly more consistency, and that will expose a hitter's flaws. And what happens in this stupid game is that once you start getting that kind of failure because they're exposing some things, then the mind games that you play with yourself creep in, and things can get dicey. So, and you try to fix things, and you're working with your hitting coach, and you're up at night at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, not sleeping because you're thinking about hitting it or not. And it's just all that stuff snowballs. So you can see it's a long-winded way of saying you can overpower the minor leagues with talent, but it's hard to do that in the big leagues without real good hitting mechanics. And that gets to the other observation. And yes, he does sweep through his swing a little bit. When he has hit the ball the best, by his own admission, in AAA, he was trying to hit line drive one hoppers at the second baseman, which mechanically get the sweep out of the swing and do an awful lot of things that allow the natural talent to be more consistent. And hopefully he's learning more and more about how to do those kinds of things all the time. And I'm really anxious to get him back up here and have him play the month of September, if that's the way it works out, and see how he's progressing there.
Thanks to State Farm agent Tony Hoaglund, Hoaglund. He works out of Champlin. We've done shows from his offices in Champlin. Just a nice little setup there. Very easy people to deal with. You can use an app. You can call them. You can correspond directly with Tony. Just very easy people to work with. Tony sponsors multiple programs around the network. He also contributes to the Minnesota Sports Fan podcast, which is already out for the week and deals with brain injuries in sports, hefty topic that they've taken on. So all you have to do is Google Tony Hoaglund, Hoaglund. He provides my insurance. He provides Michael Russo's insurance as well.
Hey, Minnesota sports fans. This is your local State Farm agent, Tony Hoaglund. I need you all to ask yourselves this question. If you're in an at-fault car accident and you are sued for $700,000, how much of that $700,000 will my current insurance company pay? If you are unsure or can't answer all $700,000, you need to give us a call. State Farm has been number one in car insurance since World War II and number one in homeowners insurance since 1964. For a no-obligation review of your current policies, call us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at www.champlininsurance.com.
So let's go big picture baseball here, Roy. What intrigues you about the rest of this season? I mean, obviously one big national development is the Yankees are still kind of hanging around the AL East race. What grabs you?
Well, first of all, let's remember there's a lot of baseball left. I mean, yes. A lot. There's even 8 or 9 games can disappear and have in the past, and so yeah, the Yankees are hanging. They're at, I think, 6 games back today after Tampa Bay swept Boston. Boston's lost sail for a while, and it only takes something like that to bring a formerly invincible team back to earth a little bit, and so that race has gotten a little bit more interesting. But it's also interesting that we just saw the Oakland A's in town with the Twins this past weekend. They're playing great baseball and they're dangerous, and I think that the race between them and Houston in the West for winning the division, but also the wild card race, who's going to be the 2 wild card teams, whether or not the Yankees can play meaningful games down the stretch in Yankee Stadium and in Fenway against the Red Sox. Those will be great series. So really, really exciting stuff. I think with the emergence of the Oakland A's and why they're good is going to be fun for me to watch, and I think for baseball fans to watch. And then the National League is just fantastic. You got Atlanta coming out of nowhere, playing great with those young kids. It's just energized. I think baseball fans everywhere, certainly in Atlanta, and the Central race and the West race are you've got the Classic against St. Louis and the Cubs, with Milwaukee hanging in there, and then the West with the Dodgers and Arizona and Colorado. They're just all of them great races for both the divisions and wild card. It's going to be a fun September.
Yeah, I agree completely. And listen, I love it when a smaller market team does well. I think the A's are, maybe the best story in baseball going right now. But let's face it, there's also something incredibly, once you pull back from the local team and you're watching TV, there's something about Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, Dodgers, teams like that being relevant. Whether you want to root for them or against them, it's good for the game, I think.
I agree with you. I've always said that the game's in the best shape when the Yankees and the Dodgers are good. And I would expand that now to include the Red Sox and the Cardinals and the Cubs. And if those teams are relevant and contending, it's always a better and more exciting baseball season. And I'm not saying that from a TV standpoint where they have where the networks go to the greatest amount of local viewers. I'm just saying that from, as you are, from a baseball fan standpoint. Those classic franchises being good and playing against upstart franchises like Oakland and Houston and Atlanta and Philadelphia. I mean, that's just although you can't call Houston upstart anymore after they won the World Series, but they're not the classic Yankee Dodger deal. And so it's just fun to have both I call them the legacy franchises and the intermittent ones from a success standpoint be all in the mix together.
So let's talk a little music here as we cap the show. I just watched a Bob Dylan tribute concert, and I think it was the 30th anniversary concert celebration. So it was a while ago, but it was really cool. It was Steve Cropper and G.E. Smith playing backup guitar. They had everybody from Stevie Wonder to the OJs, to Neil Young, Chrissie Hynde. I'm going to leave out a bunch of people. Tom Petty. Eric Clapton just sounding phenomenal on the guitar. It was just a great concert. So I think it's their 30th anniversary. I think I found it on Access TV or something like that, but I'm sure the video's out there. And the funny thing is, Roy, as is so typical of Bob Dylan, the music was incredible, the concert was incredible, and maybe the low point of the concert was when Bob got up there and actually played himself. Bob Dylan is a contradiction in terms. He is one of the icons and one of the most influential people in music, and yet it was always
in my view, there was always more ascribed to his lyrics in terms of depth than even he really meant it to be. I thought he was